The Sarcastic Enchantress, Part 4, the part you've been waiting for. And here's where we feature a brief cameo of that lovable rascal that everyone knows, Old Plotkin, the shaggy incontinent sot who passes through folktales advancing the plot. He was leaving a hut where he'd stopped for a snack. The cook shouted, "You with the barrels, come back!" He turned, "What's your problem?" The sign on the street with the image of pickles said, "All you can eat." No mention of where, nor how many, or when. Must I spend the rest of my life in this den? The madam said, "Told you that sign was dumb, Harold. He's right. Now this guy's got us over 3 barrels. At least he spent freely at our cabaret. And no one comes here for the food anyway." As Plotkin walked on, he saw spiraling crows. "Buzz off, I'm still young." Then he, stubbed his toe. Saw Ivan, half buried in sand, snow, and frost, and some practical joker had put up a cross. The wolves howled around him, crows circled and shrieked, but he was too stiff for their claws, fangs, and beaks. How sad, Plotkin thought, to see such handsome landfill, a fairy tale stuck at a narrative standstill. He ran for the barrels, dug up where he'd stashed them, and over the stone-frozen head, Plotkin smashed them. The salty green brine thawed the ice Ivan's sickle. He opened his eyes. Do I smell like pickle?" And that was how Plotkin came up with the plan for his Uncle Plot's dill pucker popsicle stand. Kids waited in line by his sign on the street, "The best yellow snow that you ever will eat." Apparently Ivan, when shipwrecked and drowned, had been slurped by a fish and rebirthed going down. He had sunk where the mermaids were laying their eggs. These were maids with fish faces and strong hairy legs. When the cartman crop-dusted to mass-fertilize them, half buried in fine caviar, he spied Ivan. The Duchess's son, whom we've mentioned before, sneered the sign said no dumping, and shoved him ashore. And this is how Ivan appeared unaware in the story of Oldie Plots and the 3 Barrels. As Ivan lurched on, he saw coming his way the horse he was searching for, chained to a sleigh. It pulled up beside him. The lady within was a finely dressed redhead with pale, freckled skin. She opened a window and smiled. "Pardon me, would you have any relish? We'll pay handsomely." He asked, "What do I look like, a dealer of snacks?" She said, "No, but you smell like one, half a mile back. But don't be self-conscious, no need to be awkward. The commoners here smell like plague rats and dog turd. Then you appear, cool as a cucumber dinner, so virile and strong, like a breath of fresh vinegar. Welcome to Fresno. I'm Princess Georgine, and someday I'll be queen of this whole feudal scene." "I'm Ivan," he grunted, "hello and goodbye, and the steed leaves with me. I don't care how or why." Georgine said, "Okay, I will trade him to you. Now pay close attention to what you must do. Across the wide sea, in the regions of Nether, a great vulture eagle has one peacock feather. They say any one that this feather has tickled," a guard muttered. "Stealth mission, smelling like pickle and cheap caviar. No way he can sneak up." She silenced him. "Birds can't smell. Don't interrupt. But don't pluck it there. You must ride the bird here. But as far as we know, there's just one way to steer it. Up north, on an island across the wide sea, a giant pistachio hangs from a tree. It's guarded by monkeys who ride polar clowns. But if you wear a gown— Are you writing this down?" "This must be a joke," Ivan sneered. "It's absurd. Poppycock, hustling monkey nuts, pluck some big bird? That's quest within quest within quest within quest, before getting back to that mad witch's test." "Her Majesty never makes fun," barked a guard. "Who asked you?" snarled Ivan, and kicked him so hard the shock of it straightened his short curly hairs. At his yelp, one guard fainted. The rest fled in terror. "At last," said Georgine, "someone worth riffing for. I make up these quests, heroes dash out the door, bravely chasing preposterous improvised rumors, but fail the real test, getting my sense of humor. The riddle, deep down in my heart, I'm a joker. Like, what do you call half-baked eggs? Mediocre. You get it?" She giggled. He muttered, "Yeah, sure, but don't quit your day job of taxing the poor." She smiled. Our 2 hearts beat his one-liners. "Kiss me." But Ivan replied, "Can't you see that I'm busy?" Unbuckling the Mustang, he bid her good day. She sighed, "Good night, sweet pickle," as he rode away. Meanwhile, on the relevant side of the sea, as Olga returned from a trip to the tree, a man sprung an ambush and gave her a shock. He whipped out his instrument, started to rock. She said, "Stop all this racket. It's cat strangled bad." He was saddened. "I heard the harp worked for your dad. I adopted some mice, had these replicas made, and assumed you'd engage if this tune was replayed." She slapped him. "You'd bootleg my parents' romance? Use a bad cover jam for a trashy advance? Only gold ring you'll get is if I pick my nose and stick boogers all over your hair and your clothes." He said, "Yes, you're so right. That's just what I deserve. Do your worst." And she sneered, "Get away from me, perv. If I went to press charges for sonic assault, you'd be locked in a vault. But it's not all your fault." The harp triggered pent-up emotional scat. "Can't you see that I'm damaged? Just look at this hat." She transfigured him, not to a cow or a sow, but a bimbo, dim-witted and roundly endowed. "Now musicians will whistle at you on the street, and you'll know how it feels to be treated like meat." She banished the tramp. Then the angry enchantress ran back with the harp to her slithering mattress. She nestled the instrument, fingered the strings, and a melody blossomed with butterfly wings. Then it launched like a condor. Behind her closed eyes, she saw Ivan kayaking, but didn't know why. To be continued.